It's on! It is on. Welcome to Disney Parks Live. For September 29th, 2020, we are here to talk about the week in Disney news, and this week in particular, the hour in Disney news, because big doings been going on lately, not necessarily good ones. My name is Doobie Mosley. I am the co-host of your show. To my right, well, that's my left, actually. Skipping over the guy in the middle, that would be my lovely wife, Rebecca, who I can't wait to get home and see.
Hi, everybody.
Down there, over there, way in the corner, is the head of all of our Southern California attractions, Mike Celestino.
Hello.
And down below, right there in the yellow shirt, is the guy in charge of all of Osceola County for Laughing Place, and that would be Jeremiah.
No more Animal Kingdom. Oh, wait, no, that's only Animal. No, Animal Kingdom's orange.
Yeah. And
you,
then,
you remind me of someone who wore a yellow shirt on a cruise line once, but I thought that's great another day.
And right there in the center, we have the CEO of Laughing Place, or as we like to call him, Benji.
That's my preferred name.
And the reason we have Benji on here today is because, as many of you may have heard, just a short time ago, one, two, three, okay, I can't do math, but not too long ago, it was released that Disney, before we start, please like this stream, click the thumbs up, ring the bell, okay, that Disney would be doing some layoffs, unfortunately, in their parks, experiences, and products division. So whenever it comes to heavy duty financial stuff like that, stuff that's not fun and frivolous, we bring on Benji. That way we can get rid of them and go back to our normal stupidity. So Benji, take it away.
I like to think I'm stupid too sometimes. So Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products, sent out a letter to cast members letting them know that because of the impact of COVID-19, they're going to unfortunately have to proceed with layoffs. Just to set the groundwork, when this started, Disney announced a furlough. Well, not a couple weeks into it, Disney announced a furlough, but Disney was still paying their insurance and benefits, not only what they would normally pay for the insurance, but the employee contribution as well. But as things went on, unfortunately, it just seems like they've reached the point where 28,000 cast members, which 2/3 of them are part-time, are going to lose their jobs across parks, experiences, and products. And to provide a stage of where, where I think Disney was trying to do is I think Disney was very committed when this started to not lay anyone off, which is why they went with the furlough, was in order to keep people on the books, but maybe save some money so that when things rebounded, they could bring them all back. And, I'm not saying no harm, no foul, but, they would still be part of the family. Unfortunately, Disneyland is been closed a lot longer than I think anyone anticipated. And then also Walt Disney World isn't opening as fast or having the attendance that they originally thought. And then that means that, unfortunately with it being the end of the fiscal year is actually on Saturday. So I'd expect this work, so to speak, to happen fairly quickly. I think their hand was forced, which if you look back, Disney definitely took a turn in their language about being forceful about the reopening of Disneyland a couple weeks ago. And I think hindsight being what it is that I don't think they wanted to say, open this up or we're going to lay people off. I just think they didn't want to go there. But I think they started to feel the pressure of, we are reaching the point where in order to not, lose more money, they were going to have to, unfortunately, let 28,000 people go, which is a lot of people. I mean, I know 2/3 of those people are part-time, but that's still, for some people, part-time is full-time. And, sometimes part-time makes another job, sustainable for their lifestyle. So it hurts. And while obviously Disneyland would appear to be the bulk of the challenge, I wouldn't necessarily, they're going to find savings wherever it is, whether it's consumer products, Walt Disney World. There's some things that aren't necessary, in the climate itself. So I think they're once they pop the seal of saying, hey, we're going to have to do layoffs across our segment, basically anyone who doesn't have immediate value is at risk.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think if you were one of these people getting laid off, do you think that there was any hope to hold out for like a year or so from now when things start getting back to normal for them to start rehiring these roles?
Yeah. I mean, 28,000 people is a lot. So I think it's definitely, they're staffing for their current operation, not staffing for the future operation. For some, for union members who obviously as part-timers, it's a fair chunk of these. There's going to be some sort of recall thing negotiated where if they hire people, these are going to be the first people to get called back. I know with the airline industry, when they did their stuff in 9/11, people were getting recalled until 2013 at some airlines. It just took that long to kind of rebound staffing. So yeah, just because you get laid off doesn't mean you won't be welcome back to Disney. Obviously you have to rehire SASs and all that, but there's just no knowing of when that date will be. And, they lose, for some people, part-time comes with insurance and they'll lose their insurance. And, depending on obviously every family's different. And, I think there's, even if you don't need the job, even if you're a snowbird, obviously it's not the same, but, losing your job at Disney, people love working at Disney. And, I feel bad for them too. So, this is a big deal.
Do you have any sense of what percentage this is of either the overall cast or the furloughed cast? Jeffrey's asking.
So overall cast, there's 78. There's probably about 125,000 cast members in DPEP.
Jeremiah?
Well, also they haven't brought back most of the part-timers at Walt Disney World. Like, it is a very small percentage of the part-time cast members that have returned. We've got full-time, and then they've kind of brought back handfuls of the places that need it, but it's definitely not the, I would say the furloughed is probably the people that may not have returned yet.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. One, it doesn't necessarily correlate to, you could have been brought back and still be laid off. Grand Floridian Society Orchestra or whatever their formal name is an example of that. But if you're part-time, I pretty much, and you haven't been brought back, or and you're not in a, not in a critical role, it doesn't look good for you. That's a fair size chunk, especially if you're at Disneyland, maybe even at Disney World if you're still on furlough, because full-timers who work someplace else will be brought back, will be transferred in before they bring back a part-timer.
Okay.
So, a lot of this is just sort of speculation, and I don't want to get too. I don't want to give anyone false hope or false fear. I don't know exactly who's coming back. I don't know who's going away. I don't know what. They could take a different strategy than what would be expected, but they went out of their way to say 67% of these people are part-timers. So if you're part-time and on furlough, I would be prepared.
And that's the hard part right now, is that there are a lot of people right now who saw this and now are just waiting because they don't know.
Yeah, and I'm told that they're going to do this fairly quickly. Unfortunately, at a big company, you kind of have to signal that you're going to do it so that you don't. You're. It's just it's better than say, hey, surprise, you're part of a small layoff and not control the message and not, be upfront about it. So it is awful. I've talked to, friends of mine that work there who are either on furlough or worried, and, they're going to do it fairly quickly. They're going to, they released thought went into this. They released the letter, then they started, and they'll probably be done by Friday.
Yeah.
And
there's this comment in our chat that apparently this person's aware that there was some calling happening as it hit the press. I know individuals in my life have reached out to me saying, do you have any feeling on where? And I'm like, sorry, no, I don't. But let me know how it goes. So.
And obviously, if you're a part timer who, might not get a lot of hours convention. Different part timers work. Some work 32 hours every week. Some work 8 hours every week. This is going all the way up to the executive level. So, their separation is going to be handled a little bit differently, but just by the nature of, having having an executive as a leader is different than having a guest experience manager as a leader. You get, they're just not as equipped to do those things. But yeah, I respect Josh in that the tone of the letter didn't sugarcoat it, and it, acknowledged this stinks. And, I've been around for several layoffs, and what stinks about this one is I've never been around for a layoff that affected hourly cast members to this effect. It's one thing to lose a couple managers or executives. Not saying that that's great, but, traditionally Disney has always needed hourly help. You maybe not be the job you have. You might have to transfer something you less like, but there's always been an hourly job available at Walt Disney World. And
I also, to put a little bit of hope in it too, because it's this is really a very down discussion, but I've noticed with a lot of stuff going on right now is we've seen unusual positions open up. It's like it can't replace what's totally gone, but in some cases, just by the needs of operations within the current time frame, while one position may go, a different position may open up. And so, I personally have, hope that there'll be some opportunities in those cases for people as well.
And to provide the 9/11 context, obviously it's different, but they shut things down. People, were put on hold, not to the extent that they are here, but Disney will rebound and there will be plenty of jobs available, and you'll be able to bridge your seniority and all that stuff eventually. This isn't about leaving Disney forever, unless that's your choice. There will be other opportunities at Disney in the future. We just don't know when those are going to be. And Disney will be bigger and have more people working for it at some point. I just, I don't know if that's in 6 months or I don't know if that's in 5 years.
Right. And this is just a microcosm of what's going on in companies all over, some of which are not as assured of coming back, stronger and better than before. Some are disappeared forever, as we all know. Some are still hoping to be able to rebound. So, as bad as we feel for everyone at Disney, we know a lot of these people. This is our lives. This is unfortunately what's going on in the world right now. Hopefully, we all pray not all that much longer, but that's not up to us.
I just want to say, as someone who was a cast member for a long time, I just want to extend my sympathy, not for the people that are losing their job, but just the people that have uncertainty. We're sorry. We appreciate all the magic you do. Mm-hmm. And we hope that it, in the end, things get back on track and you're able to, get back to making some magic, whether it's at Disney or elsewhere.
So I feel like one of the best things we can do is to show some of the fun stuff that's been happening at the parks and maybe entice some people to take that trip. So we are going to say goodbye to our bad luck charm right now, Benji, and continue on with our normal silliness. Yes, Jeremiah? Oh, you're waving goodbye. Okay. So anything else before you go, Ben, you want to mention?
Jeremiah, are you talking? I see your lips moving.
No.
What?
I'm talking to you now.
Oh.
Yes, sorry. I was muted as I was sending you something to look at.
Yeah, so, obviously, as a lot of these cast members are union. The union's going to work through it. Union can't stop a layoff, just like they couldn't stop a furlough. But they can negotiate, how long you get insurance and stuff. So if you're a cast member and you're watching this, just wait for Disney to reach out to you. If you have questions, contact your leader. We're not the people you should be getting your information from. We just want to, we're sharing the news as fans, how it hurts us. We're sharing our sympathy for you, but there's definitely going to be plenty of resources out there. They will be offering, replacement, resume, help and replacement insurance, and the Aspire program. They'll be able to finish your program even if you're not employed. So they will be there and they will be in touch. And
two quick questions for you, Ben. Is this their first major layoff since COVID started across the entire company?
Yeah. So as far as I'm aware, this is the first non-scheduled layoff. So there were some people who were informed before COVID that their position was being eliminated, and then their position is being eliminated, somewhere in COVID. But specifically, this is the first COVID layoff, and this is specifically for Disney Parks experiences and products. So,
and then I'm just going to get some context, at least from what I'm looking up. Disney currently employs about 223,000 people, according to Google. So this is more than 10% of the workforce.
It's a big chunk of, DPEP makes up a big chunk of the workforce just because, they engage people, but it's still a fair chunk of this business. This is a big number.
Yeah, I did not realize it was more than 10% of the entire workforce. That's actually, wow, that's amazing. And Disney is down 1.24% in after-hours trading.
Benji, this would extend out to like Walt Disney Imagineering also.
Yes.
Okay.
But the thing is while there are, but the fact that 67% of them are part-time shows that this is a major hourly layoff, at least on the part-time side. They're going to lay off some executives across the board and some senior managers across the board, and you don't need water park managers right now and stuff like that. But there's not a lot of part-time executives, so I think that's what really hit me in the gut was the number, and the percentage of part-time made me realize that these are some frontline magic makers that are going to be impacted.
Right. Thank you so much, Ben.
Everybody.
Run the company.
Oh.
So when I press remove at the same time he presses remove, one of us ends up pressing add.
Oh, no. Oops.
All right. So I think that's about all we need to say about that right now. As I said, I think the best thing we can do right now is look at some of the positive stuff going on at the resort. Hopefully entice some people to get there who obviously are comfortable going there, but knowing there's still lots of fun to be had at Walt Disney World right now, other parks around the country, and hopefully Disneyland parks soon. So let's start with you, Jeremiah, and Walt Disney World, and a wonderful experience you got to do.
I'm in California right now.
I was going to say, we're all on the West Coast this time.
Jeremiah's playing
Normally you're on the East Coast. Wait, so who's covering the East Coast? There's nothing, we don't know what's going on out there then.
No, you have
Tony.
You have Tony. So we all can find out all the attractions that are better than Rise on the East Coast.
Are you there, Tony? Are you there? I know, that was so fun. All right, so Jeremiah, you want to talk about this?
Yes, Cinderella's Royal Table. I would say that's the signature restaurant of the Magic Kingdom. I know people love Be Our Guest, but Cinderella is probably the most classic. It did reopen this past week. I was lucky enough to be there on the first day of the soft opening, which was interesting because the rumblings had kind of made its way through everybody. But what I found out was certain cast members were kind of told to maybe share with their friends that this was happening. So I got to the park bright and early, walked to Cinderella's Royal Table, which up until that day, the display case had been empty and there wasn't any activity. They put the plexiglass up around the check-in table and the menu was there. So as I'm looking, I had one of the management come over and goes, "Oh, did you know that we're having a soft opening today? Would you be interested in that?" I was like, "I did not know that." But the unique thing about that day, and I think this is something we're going to see much more going forward, is they took advantage of the My Disney Experience app. And the only way you could get in for the preview day was to book, to do the what's available now on the dining area. And I selected. I was actually the first person to go in to Cinderella's Royal Table in 6 months.
Wow.
But yeah, and it is not a character dining location. It is not. There is no character interaction. You may have a surprise visit from Cinderella herself.
It looks like you did, Jeremiah.
I did. It was amazing. The tables are all socially distant. Again, this could possibly even change after the announcement that restaurants can go back to 100%. I think Disney will probably stick with the CDC regulations of maintaining the socially distant and the smaller sections. But Cinderella did come out and she strolled along the back area closer to the kitchen and where Cinderella would go up to her suite, trying to keep the magic happening. And she just came out. She walked around, posed for some pictures, and in the time that I was there, she appeared twice. The food is still amazing. I've never had a bad meal there. The server, who has been in the parks for 45 years, I think she said next year will be her 45th anniversary. And one of the unique things, her name is Chris. So if you go to Cinderella's Royal Table, ask for Chris. She is absolutely amazing. She was taking care of me the entire time. When I was talking to her about her history, she started in the Haunted Mansion and Diamond Horseshoe. And I go, wait, you started in the Haunted Mansion and Diamond Horseshoe? When the parks opened, attractions did everything. She was a server at Diamond Horseshoe when it first opened and did attractions. So one day she'd be running Haunted Mansion, the next day she'd be serving at Diamond Horseshoe.
Oh, that's amazing.
I thought like they used to have a restaurant in the banquet hall of Haunted Mansion, and I'm just about to learn something.
No, nothing that cool. Yeah, it was so much fun. And from the pictures, definitely head over and take a look at the article. I had a beautiful view at the end. They're doing at the character dining locations, even though this is not a character dining location. Wow, my voice.
Sorry.
They're giving out autograph cards, and one side will be a picture of the character, like when it was the the Good Turn restaurant.
Garden Grill.
Help me. Thank you.
Garden Grill.
Because it was Chippendale and Mickey and Pluto, they gave you a card that one side has a artwork of those characters and the other side has their autographs. And at Cinderella's Royal Table, if Doobie can grab that one picture, it is actually Cinderella done like the mosaic. Nope, we're gone.
Yeah, I already closed it. Sorry, I'll bring it back.
It's done like the mosaic downstairs on the back. It has her autograph. Yeah.
Cool. So you had a good time there?
Yes. We have a video up of the experience, and make sure you swing by and do that after you like us here and subscribe and ring our bell.
All right.
There's the best part right there, the view.
Is my mic working? I was having some mic issues.
Yeah,
you're all
mic is
good.
Working.
Okay.
Is this the autograph card right here?
That is.
I will say, as with all eating experiences right now, double check the app, look at the menu before you go, because there are some changes. I was surprised that there weren't as many as I would have expected at Cinderella Royal Table, but I did notice that there were 2 appetizers instead of 4 that had been previously. And then I'm pretty sure that at the time, currently, looking at the menu, a pork chop is not listed, whereas previously there had been a pork chop on the menu. So, if there's some specific taste bud you're expecting to tantalize when you go to the restaurant, double check the menu, because with the COVID situation, menu items have changed a little bit here and there.
Yeah, a lot of the menus across the property have shrunk. Sadly, some of the key ones, like the pork chop, those have been temporarily removed because of availability, shipments, and everything. So definitely, like Rebecca said, check the menu on the app. It's a good way to know what you're in mood for. And that way it also saves some time, because when you get in, they give you a QR code, you scan it on your phone, you have to look through it. If you've already looked through it, that's exactly what the QR code will take you to anyway.
The other element of the experience that Jeremiah's article touched on that I found particularly interesting is that, you know, there's that narrow staircase to get up to the table, and he said they have stationed cast members with radios at each end to ensure that you don't have parties passing each other on the stairwell. And then they also are going through and wiping down it reminded me of how the cruise ship, you know, how when the kids would go marching through the Disney cruise line, they always had a cast member coming right behind them, wiping off all the handrails right behind all the kids. And apparently it sounds like they're similarly making sure to wipe down those handrails on that winding staircase up and down to the restaurant. So, you know. Yeah,
when I was coming down, as I'm exiting, I had one of the cast members, you know, pick up his mic, party coming down. I felt like, you know, I'm special or something.
Mr. President.
It's almost like Club 33, right?
Are those radios themed to the period somehow?
Yes.
Yes. They're long.
Cinderella?
They're a can and a long string that runs all the way down the spiral staircase.
By the way, I just got a message from Bob.
Cans then.
I was gonna say, because of all those cans you see in Cinderella.
Got a message from Bobby Brady. He's very disappointed at the lack of pork chops.
With applesauce.
With applesauce, absolutely. Thank you, Rebecca.
No worries. I'm here for you.
I've been holding that for like the past 5 minutes, much like, never mind. All right.
That's why I mentioned it. Why I mentioned it.
In other wonderful news, October 5th. Is this an equity thing, Jeremiah?
It is an equity thing. This show will be the first full. Well, it sounds like full. There's a couple of words in there that made the changes, whatever may happen with it. I know the hosts will be there, and then it sounds like they may have done some small changes to the show, as they have done since it opened. But Frozen Ever After, a musical sing-along, is returning. I'm sorry, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration.
It's given me the chance to bring Mike Celestino into the conversation. Mike, Frozen 1 or Frozen 2?
You've asked me this one before, and I
All right,
said,
never mind.
I said I prefer the Frozen 1 movie, but I do really like the songs in Frozen 2.
Okay, is that the same answer you gave before?
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes. Exactly.
Frozen 2, Electric Boogaloo. All right, and let's see what else we got going on. Let's go to Mike now. We'll come back to Jeremiah, but since I couldn't even ask Mike a new question, let's bring him in to talk about some goings-on at downtown Disney. My goodness, is this some good news? Mike Celestino, pins.
Yeah, I went to downtown Disney yesterday morning, very briefly, to attend another one of these reservation-only Enchanting Extras merchandise event, and I'm finally able to remember that name after 3 times. This is the third one of these this month, actually. So this is the way that they're kind of like offloading all this park-exclusive merchandise that ordinarily you'd be able to buy in the parks, but since you can't go in the parks, you got to make a reservation on the Disney Parks blog or the Disneyland.com, and then you go and you have an appointment. You line up outside of ESPN Zone, the former ESPN Zone. Then they let you in. They assign you to register, and they've got these. There's the sheet, the pin release sheet. That was this week's event, which it was called "It's a Small Fantasyland" was the theme of these pins, and they're all Fantasyland-based characters and attractions. And I actually bought a few of them. There were quite a few to choose from. I couldn't get all of them, or it would have cost many hundreds of dollars. But I did get the ones that I liked the most.
Do you know the edition size of those pins?
Oh, so you asked me this last time. I got to take off the back here.
Well, one of the things when I visited downtown Disney last week, I noticed that the fidget Halloween pin that Mike showed us last week was still available at the pin store. So I'm guessing if it's a high number, you could probably still head down there and grab them.
Can I ask you a question, Jeremiah? Does it make you want to pin more if the edition size is smaller, and why?
I, at one point, would say yes to that when pin trading was in its highlight. Now it is much more, I like a pin. Like the fidget pin, it didn't matter what the edition size was, I wanted that one. There are pins that I've, always wanted because they may have been like 600 and only given away to a handful of people at a special event or something.
Okay, go on, Mike. Show off your
Okay,
pin.
so I looked at the edition number. It says 1,750 for this one. But this is Peter Pan standing in front of the Matterhorn. I guess he also got the silhouette of the attraction facade there as well. And then you got Harold, the animatronic Yeti, behind the mountain there, coming over the top of the Matterhorn. That's really cool. I like the sparkles on that. Pretty neat. And then the second one I got was Pinocchio in front of the Pinocchio attraction. And then you also have Monstro the whale from the Storybook Land canal boats in Fantasyland at Disneyland.
Is that Monstro from Storybook Land or Monstro from Pinocchio?
It's from Storybook Land because you can see the water going through his mouth.
Yeah.
Very good. This is why you have the position, Mike.
I can do that kind of stuff for Disneyland because I spend a lot of time there, but don't ask me Walt Disney World trivia stuff. And then finally I got this twofer pin set, and it's Merlin and the Sword and the Stone from the movie The Sword and the Stone. And
Very cool.
Or as I like to think of him, from the Magic Happens parade.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So my wife...
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. When I showed this to my wife, she said...
Spoilers.
It reminded her of the way Merlin dances in the movie and the parade. So
Oh, very
that's pretty
nice.
cool. Yeah.
I love that parade.
But there's other ones. If you look at that post you were just showing, you probably closed it already, huh?
Never.
Okay. If you scroll down a bit, you can see the other ones that I did not get. Just keep going down. Yeah. Down one more. There you go.
More?
And you can scroll through there.
Alice.
There's an Alice in Wonderland with the Mad Tea Party and such, and Dumbo the Flying Elephant, Moana and the Small World. Was that a clock, I guess?
Not Moana. It's just the Hula Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that wrong. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if you
Why did I
bring in
think that was
Moana, that'll cause a whole uproar if we start calling
Yeah,
her
that's true.
Moana.
Wait, is Moana not in
Nope.
Small World, the attraction? I guess it's just
Lilo
Lilo and Stitch. All right, I
Lilo
got to
and
go and edit that in my my post. All right. Well,
That
cultural,
castle one is really cool.
faux pas by me there, and Aurora and Prince Philip, and these are the sets that come with. There's an exclusive Snow White one and a Mr. Toad one that are both exclusive to those sets.
I want the couples.
Yeah.
They're so
Those are
cute. Aww.
the
Oh,
couple.
look at the queen in the back.
On your paperwork, did it say what the edition size for the couple?
I
or the
don't. I
villains?
just took that photo. Maybe I can zoom in real.
It did not on the paper. Sorry, I did zoom in on this paper. It does not
Okay.
say here.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, no addition.
Those are some
Just
adorable
prices.
pins. Yeah.
So
What matters?
But yeah, I
I
guess
may
if
or
you
may not
didn't,
be asking in case I need to go tomorrow to buy some of these pins.
Yeah, I guess if your experience holds true, there should be some extras left over. Maybe you can. Where did you see that fidget one in the pin traders?
Yeah, it was right inside the pin trader hanging on the wall. They had a couple of rows. They also had a bunch of the 65th pins that came out with the first event or the second event. Or they had those too. So they had a few
Okay.
of them still out there.
Oh, cool. So maybe you can still grab some at pin traders after. I think this reservation thing ends tomorrow. So maybe after that they'll put them in the shop. So.
What
might not
was
have
the
any
link
more.
for that reservation?
well, while you were at downtown Disney, I know you've both been down to downtown Disney recently. Had that beautiful mural
Yes.
been unveiled yet?
This one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Jeremiah saw this in person before I did. But yeah, they've installed this tribute to Chadwick Boseman, who sadly passed away recently. on the ESPN Zone building there, and I kept meaning to take a selfie with it while I was there yesterday, but every time I passed by, there were people waiting to have their photo taken and a cast member helping.
Oh,
So a lot of people
wonderful.
are excited about that mural and getting their picture with it. And they were, instructing them on how to do the salute and everything correctly with the right arm over the left arm and stuff.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
What we are happy about,
Very
though,
nice.
Mike, is when you went to Knott's Berry Farm, you were able to get a selfie, and I really like the way it turned out.
Thanks. Actually, yeah, Jeremiah and I both were at this event on the same day, which is super cool. We got to run into each other a few times. And yeah, that's one of my favorite pictures I took through the whole day. They had the trick or treat trail, Camp Snoopy trick or treat trail, and all along the path, because the attractions, the kiddie rides can't be running, they put skeletons as Knott's Berry Farm crew members or whatever they call their employees.
I think
there.
aren't they team members? Don't they
Team
go
members,
with the
okay.
TM?
Same
I
as
can't remember for
Universal, I
sure.
guess.
Yeah.
But they're all skeletons operating the rides, and then also skeletons as guests on the rides. And then, yeah, the decorations all around Ghost Town were fantastic. They really went above and beyond in decorating the park. I thought I was so impressed. But there's no Not Scary Farm this year, so of course, like, those people had, they had to put their energy somewhere, and they did use actually a lot of the elements from the mazes in Scary Farm to decorate all around the park. There's a cool animatronic organist on top of the hotel balcony in
That
Ghost
is
Town. I thought
very
that was
cool.
great.
I thought that was a person, and like they were just having musical entertainment.
But his head just turns back and forth like this.
How
I'm
was it
sorry,
being?
like what? Like what, Mike? Thank you.
Ahoy!
How was it being back at in the Southern California theme parks, Jeremiah?
It was great. Knott's Berry Farm has always held a special place for me. My mom used to tell stories of when she was a teenager and would go and explore and do things that are now legal in the state of California. But walking through was really, the team members were all really helpful, and everybody was there, like, taking care of guests. Especially, I went with some friends who had gone previously, and they couldn't stop raving about how great the team members were. And it was definitely, I felt just like I did when I was in the Florida parks, very safe. Everybody's wearing their masks. And one of the highlights, as Mike was talking about how the team members that are in the Camp Snoopy area were all skeletons, they were all also named Kevin, which I think you figured out why they're named Kevin, Rebecca.
I just figured they were having a little fun at the expense of the park manager, whose first name is Kevin. So that was just my guess from it. Because when I looked, I was initially wondering if it was connected to some haunt lore or something, but I didn't find any success there. So I'm gonna go with what I found through LinkedIn, and that is the park ops manager.
Well, I also wanted to show you what I got from Knott's. They have a cool. They always do this lately at the seasonal events at Knott's. They'll have a combo you can get of a T-shirt and a pin, and it's always like really affordable. Like probably half of what you would pay at Disneyland for the same thing. And this is the pin for the Knott's Taste of Fall-O-Ween with a little pumpkin spider there. And then I got the T-shirt. And I bought this before I went to the trick or treat trail, but I'm really glad that I got it now because I did love that area so much. And that's the front logo, and then on the back you got the whole Peanuts gang.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
Even
I was looking at that too, Mike, but I walked into the tribute store to the Scary Farm, and I actually walked out with, they have some of the shirts and merchandise that they couldn't use this year in there, including some like retro posters, and I bought a couple of things in there. It's like,
yeah, somehow
nothing like coming across the country
that.
to buy more stuff.
I saw people tweeting about that after I left, and I was like, how did I miss that? Where was that actually located?
It's back by Knott's Berry Tales. It's the shop. It's the Charles Schwartz shop underneath the Good Time Theater.
Yeah, I didn't go in there. I missed that, but I wish I had because it looked cool.
Very nice.
If I could ask my two Knott's Farm fans a quick question. Mystery Lodge or Haunted Shack?
Haunted Shack.
I don't think I ever got to do the Haunted Shack, but I've done the Mystery Lodge.
Yeah, I would agree. Haunted Shack. And what's his name? One-Eyed Slow Joe?
Yes. It's
Sad-eyed
I could
Joe.
tell you.
I had to
Hey,
think about it for a
Doobie,
second.
I have a fun fact for you, Doobie.
About Sad-Eyed Joe.
No, about Mystery Lodge.
I thought
Did
Jimmy
you
fell out of
know-
his chair.
I know, that's what I was waiting for.
Have my
That
shoe fly up.
technology
You get that.
was originally created for a Disneyland attraction that never came to fruition, and then they did it for Mystery Lodge.
Really? What was it based on, or what was the attraction?
Dick Tracy.
Really?
Yes,
And
I'm sure I may be corrected, but I'm pretty sure it was Dick Tracy.
That's
was
funny.
one of the original ones, and then it never went through. They had a couple of ideas for Dick Tracy, and that entire screen. Now I'm questioning myself. Now,
Okay,
hang on, let me double check.
So usually I'll dig a little deeper, which is our Sunday. Typically on Sundays, Jeremiah, Doobie, I, and our friend Shelly, we chat about Disney attractions, past, present, and usually Jeremiah comes in with a factoid that is, if not for this attraction, then we wouldn't get this attraction.
I
In
was
this
trying,
case, we
and then I
get-
questioned
If
myself.
Disney hadn't have done this one, Knott's wouldn't have had that one.
Right.
Well, especially nowadays, if you walk around Knott's Berry Farm, you can say if Disney hadn't gotten rid of this thing, Knott's would never have
Right,
incorporated it.
right.
The
Let's not
entire
talk
original-
about the raft ride that has a very colorful version of Harold in it.
Right, the Bigfoot Rapids.
Mike, is that Halloween Disneyland hat?
Oh no, this is just a regular Disneyland hat, and I realized as the stream started today that I'm wearing the same hat that is hanging up here behind me because I bought one years and years ago, and then they gave me one at a media event, so I just have two of this same hat. So no, it has nothing to do with Halloween though. It's just a regular.
Nice try, Tony.
It does
Nice
have
looking
sort of
hat, though.
Halloween characters though. I mean colors, yeah.
Yeah, it's got orange in it. That's so what were you oh, Mystery Lodge. Yeah. I think of Disaster when I think of Mystery Lodge.
I don't remember it.
Because it was the same technology as Disaster, right, Jeremiah?
Pepper's Ghost, yeah.
Oh, it's the same technology as Haunted Mansion, right, Jeremiah?
Well, no, they did it also in Disaster with
They did in Disaster.
with what's his name, cowbell
Christopher
guy.
Walken.
Yes,
Is
but
that just
it
simple
was
Pepper's
definitely-
Ghost?
Yeah.
It looks more in depth.
Just better
Well,
lit
and they're it's
because it's meant to be.
the cast members are behind and interacting, and they have their spots, but it is exactly the same technology as Mystery Lodge,
It was a
where you have to stand on your spot.
Yeah.
So Tony says on their stream, the 1955 looks like pumpkins on the side.
Oh.
So let's see. I wanted to mention this. Benji briefly mentioned it, and we're just going to briefly mention it again to make sure it's clear, because 32 years is something you want to remember, and that is Jeremiah probably knows these guys better than any of us. Jeremiah.
The Grand Floridian Society Orchestra, which was definitely one of the highlights every time I walked into the Grand Floridian. And I think, Doobie, you and I, when we did the walk and talk for the Grand Floridian, I was talking about how their old location was on the upper level, and they moved them down to the lower level, and they moved them to Disney's Hollywood Studios. And now, sadly, they're ending their run Saturday is their last day at the
It says
Hollywood
as of October.
Studios.
They say as of October 3rd, our days will come to an end. So I don't know if that means they're performing on October 3rd or not, but
I believe October 3rd is the.
yes, you are correct. So wow, I mean, we've stayed at the Grand Floridian briefly, never in the main building, but we've been there countless times, especially Grand Floridian Cafe, one of our favorite places. We love to just get off there at the monorail and look around, and hearing that band there sets the mood so well. That's just sad. And I had no idea they'd been there that long. And it's just sad.
They're a good Facebook follow. So if you are a fan of the orchestra, be sure and look up the Grand Floridian Society Orchestra on Facebook. I'm sure that any information they have about what their future is, maybe, who knows if this is like, a forever thing. So, if there's something that you treasure, I would really recommend you give them a follow on Facebook so you can stay on top of where they're. I mean, another example of this, but from times past, is Off Kilter from Canada, the pavilion. They just recently had a concert in the Orlando area that you could have found out about if you were following them on Facebook. So a lot more and more these entertainers and performers through Facebook, you're able to find out where they end up if you miss them at where you're used to seeing them. For example, Kirk, Crazy Kirk and the Hillbillies, who for the longest time were Billy Hill and the Hillbillies over at Disneyland. Now Crazy Kirk over at Knott's Berry Farm. Right now, virtually, right now they're sharing recorded performances by them. But once again, they have an active Facebook page, and they let you know what they're up to. So if you've enjoyed their music over the years, give these people a follow on Facebook, and you'll stay in touch and know where they've landed as they move here or there.
Sorry, give me just 1 second.
No worries.
Yeah, it was fun walking by the stage and hearing them, and I found out.
Let me interrupt you real quick. I got what I was looking for. So, unfortunately, in addition to the Grand Floridian Orchestra, we just found out Bob Jackson, better known as YeHaa Bob at Port Orleans, is one of the people who's been let go. He writes on his Facebook, and that's how it ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. I've just learned my act will not be returning to Disney. I made so many friends over the last 23 years. It was a great time. We had a lot of laughs together. I'll be continuing my Sunday shows for now. I'll keep you posted. I'll be digesting all this. So those are his words exactly as posted on his Facebook page. Maybe a little bit of ambiguity.
Is that can you give out that specific? Is it facebook.com/
YeHaa? Let me put it up on the screen for anybody that wants to check it out.
So that way, once again, you can follow and see what ends up happening. Oh, man.
When we first moved to Florida, we have a thing of having a restaurant wherever we are. It's just a thing we do. And our first restaurant in Walt Disney World was
Boat Rides,
which shares a wall with YeHaa Bob's bar. So while we never actually sat there to watch him, we have heard his show more times than I can count, and heard all the people loving his show. And I remember when this whole thing started and Walt Disney World closed, he was so quick to get on social media and basically do his show on Zoom so people could continue to enjoy it. Wow.
Entertainer.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's been somebody that over the years, anytime somebody new comes into town, that's always a go-to, and just sit there and enjoy him for, he takes a break, and his break is literally him either signing autographs and taking pictures, or mopping his head for 2 seconds before he plays for almost 4 hours straight.
And he's one of those entertainers where I'm sure there are people out there who have pictures, of Junior, over the years, their picture with Bob, from their annual family visits to Walt Disney World. So, they've grown up seeing Bob. Wow.
And you can go to his, I'm pretty sure off that Facebook site, there's a link to his website. And he's actually not just a funny piano guy. He plays and composes his own music, and he sells his CDs on there. Please go support him. He is a great person, and it's very sad. Like that breaks my heart.
BobJacksonMusic.com is that URL. I'll put just show a quick screenshot there.
There you go.
Wow.
So, you can stay in touch with his.
He would also do concerts at Give Kids the World every week or so, just to help out all the kids that, may not have much longer. He was there to entertain and do anything that he could to make them smile.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as always, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it ends up, these kinds of things can end up being reshaping in some ways. I mean, I'm blown away by the number of people that I know who ended up getting Knott's Berry Farm annual passes with the transition of Kirk and the Billies over there. There was a group of people who followed them over there. So once again, see where these people are on Facebook, their URLs and everything, and then you can continue to enjoy their music if they don't find their way back to Disney. Right now,
reach out to them on Facebook. Tell them how much you love them, how much you'll miss them. I'm sure that will mean so much to them right now. Just say hi. I'm sure it means a lot to people right now at a time like this.
Jeffrey remembers walking through Port Orleans and hearing SpongeBob SquarePants echoing through the bar I throw in there, and threw him for a loop, and he's loved his shows ever since.
So one of the things, and this is throwing back to my previous life, when we did the Mouse Fest in Walt Disney World, now almost a decade and a half ago,
don't say it.
we would have YeHaa Bob, like, he would be one of the highlights of, okay, we're going to meet at YeHaa Bob's. So, I mean, if you search Window to the Magic YeHaa Bob, you can definitely find some of his shows on there. Paul Berry did a great job of capturing some of those. I think I actually captured one of his entire loops one night for it. So it's something great to hear, but no matter what, go support Bob.
All right. Back to Walt Disney World, or still at Walt Disney World. So the Star Wars Trading Post, which had opened at Downtown Disney, is now at Disney Springs. Jeremiah, what did this replace? I can't really tell from this picture.
It replaced the Star Wars Trading Post.
Okay. So why do we have an article on it?
No. What it is, if you go down, there's another great photo of a temporary decal they put up that it's the Trading Post featuring shipments from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Gotcha.
So they brought over just about everything. I think the only two major things that weren't brought over were the Legacy lightsabers and like the jewelry, the more high-end jewelry stuff that they had. Yeah. So, but I love that.
Because I haven't been there in a while, is this where they used to have the Pooh Shop way back when?
Yes, where they had the animal shop at one point.
Yeah,
It's across from the Christmas store, right behind the pin traders.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry.
And
right.
with the Halloween season approaching, I think for some this will be a helpful way for them to grab a Jedi robe if that had been part of their planning. Hey. This year I'm going to grab a Jedi robe from Batuu, and then all of a sudden Batuu is much harder to access.
Well, and it's also Florida residents right now are getting a 20% discount at Downtown Disney in certain shops and restaurants. There, it's only annual pass holders, but a 20% discount just for a resident of the state of Florida is
That's amazing. Unprecedented.
Yeah, it's nothing. I've never heard of that at Disneyland or Walt Disney World. And having all of that available for 20% off for people who don't have annual passes is an amazing thing.
I feel lucky.
Parking is still free at Downtown Disney. Sorry, GB, to step on you.
Disney Springs, yes.
Sorry. I'll say Disney Springs eventually.
No,
it is at Downtown Disney though, too, right?
It is still free at Downtown Disney as well, yes.
Oh, you're right.
And at Universal City Walk.
And outside the building here, as I recall, it's still
my driveway.
I charge $15 outside our apartment.
Oh, good to know.
Why? Thank you for not having us over.
Do you have
You stand out there with the flag, pulling people into your driveway.
Mike, we are so lucky to have Star Wars Mike on our show.
We are? Oh, great.
Tell us when I show you this picture, I just want you to spew Star Wars stuff to me.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so we'll start on the upper left, I guess. There's a Jedi Temple Guard mask I see. Some busts of Jedi and other characters, and then the Sith is represented in that center section. You got Darth Maul and other stuff that's harder to see. And on the right, you've got some Jedi and Sith holocrons and some kyber crystals. And then in the bottom, you have some plush porgs and Princess Leia, the child, a.k.a. Baby Yoda, and Darth Vader, all from Toy Dairy and Toy Shop in the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge area.
Who's in this urn right here? Who do they keep in there?
That's a great question. I should have asked my guests on Who's the Bosk today. Star Wars Explains own Alex and Molly Damon, who are super, super experts in Star Wars canon.
How can you be interviewing somebody that's... Aren't you the it's like Mike and then everybody else?
No. These people know their stuff. Like, they are... I said on the show, outside of Wikipedia, they're the YouTube channel to go to for, like, keeping track of the Star Wars canon and keeping everything organized, because I'm so impressed with their breadth of knowledge and just ability to keep it all in their heads, which is crazy.
That's amazing.
I think keeping all that in your head is crazy, yes.
No, I don't mean like that. I think it's amazing. And you're one to talk, Mr. Disneyland
Yes, I know.
attraction opening dates and various other sundry knowledge. Have either of you purchased a holocron? Jeremiah, Mike?
I do not have one of the holocrons.
My roommate bought one, and I have every color of kyber crystal except black, Mike.
I'll be right back.
And we've gone through and put them in, but that was also before the time that we understood that different colors and different colors have different sizes that have different Jedi or Sith that speak to you. I don't know what the definition is. Mike's just going to show off his... Is that for me or him?
It's pretty much
A little
the
bit of both.
conversation right now.
Probably
Yeah.
all of you.
Okay.
Go for it, Mike. Do it.
Oh
go
no,
for it,
what
Mike.
does Mike?
What do you
What's
got?
Mike have?
I
What
lost
did
my
Mike
hat.
find?
Look at this hat here I got going.
That's
It's
pretty
all
bad.
That's why
good.
I'm wearing this.
I have hat like indentation because it was
I know.
bugging me, so I took it off, and now I have this line on the top of my head.
So I started buying the kyber crystals while the park was open, and the first time I ever went to get a red one, I opened it up and look what was inside. This is just so crazy because it's like I think it's 1 in 100 or something. The black one, although it looks more purplish in the light, but it is the black kyber crystal. It makes the blade red.
I'm lost. Is that a tube of lipstick in your hand?
No, that's just the container.
Oh.
It does look like a lipstick, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay, I was going to show you. Yeah. That's okay.
That's cool.
In other news, can we go away from Star Wars for a moment?
No. Okay.
I know never.
Although
Mike
undoubtedly,
doesn't have a lot to talk about right now.
Mike and I want to talk about that eventually.
we'll get back
Oh
there. In a moment.
yeah. When are we gonna do that? Oh, on the Star
We
Wars.
have to do that. That's our
okay.
Star Wars talk.
That's
yeah.
right.
Okay.
You guys
When is
have
that?
a thing for that.
Is that Thursday this week?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Okay.
We have to talk.
Okay.
That would be. Big good news came out yesterday, and that's that. Well, I guess sort of good news that there will be another D23 Expo.
Yay!
It will not be until 2022. Normally, by their every other year plan, it would have been next year. No dates had yet been announced, but it normally would have been 2021. Instead, they're doing 2022, and they have said they will be talking about the incredible plans for the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company, which, if I'm not mistaken, will be in 2023 and might be related to the name of this fan club. So mark your calendars now. September 9th through 11th, 2022. LP will undoubtedly be there. Come say hi, get your fans, your buttons, come play some Disney Trivia Live with us. We're planning already. We've got 2 years to plan this thing. It's going to be the best thing we've ever done. Or
But
we'll just
also-
show up with the booth.
What happens to
Probably.
undersell, over deliver?
But as far as we know, Destination D is still on the books for next November. That was announced earlier this year when they canceled Destination D for this year. It's moved to next year. Just no dates for that. So
Let's see. Tony says, get 16 of those little lipstick tubes and hide them in a Barbasol can. That's a
I have
great.
to admit, that's what I thought.
That is a
I
great-
actually did think that, but there's a lot of Jurassic Park happening in my house right now.
So Tony did that on purpose to segue us to our final story of the day, and let's show a video for what's coming to Disney's 5th theme park, Universal
Is this
Studios.
when you go running, Doobie?
I'm sorry?
Is this where you run away for like the 90 seconds to
powder your take
nose?
care of matters? No, I just crossed my legs a little more. We're going to make it. That whole thing really works for me, except for the apex predator of coasters. That's kind of silly. But
that is something that I want to say. I think Busch Gardens said that about one of their coasters not too long ago, or SeaWorld. And when I saw that, that was definitely an eye roll of like, okay, we don't need to just let's make ours the best every time. This is already the tallest and fastest launch coaster in Florida.
That's pretty small. That's like you being the vice president in charge of water fountains in theme parks built before 1981. I mean, that's not that much of a... So the
Magic Kingdom in Disneyland, great.
What's it called? No, in Florida.
VelociCoaster.
It's a VelociCoaster.
Roller Raptor.
I'm sorry. The correct name is Churro Stand.
Okay, so see this here. Gio says, funny how they announced, then decided to hide it, and then announce again fully after. Okay, here, Gio, here's what happened at Laughing Place, okay? So
behind the scenes.
We have our team shares information, and this post is put in the group that says, Universal's announced their coaster. So I go to the Universal page, and I click, and I get a Raptor thing, not the new coaster. The page doesn't look any different to me than it did a few days ago. Then I go back to them. I go, I don't see anything. And they go, no, it's there. And they send me a screen grab. I click on that URL. The page I go to, nope, it doesn't have that. I send a screen grab back, in essence, saying, no, this is what mine looks like. So somehow it was posted and then unposted, and my cache did not come in at the right time. So some of our team had it, and I didn't. So it was a really fun day to watch Universal, because there's been this buildup for so long now, right? Jeremiah, you're talking about the churro cart. That comes into play too. Share your story.
Yeah. So we've been watching this giant coaster being built for probably just under a year now or so. And all theme parks, you can't hide massive construction, especially when it's a coaster that's going out into the water and crossing over areas. So Universal hasn't said a single word about this coaster up until yesterday, was it? So the fan and the annual pass community started calling it just a churro. Like, oh, Jurassic Park getting a new churro stand. It's a churro. And there are some people, I think Doobie's favorite team member here at laughingplace.com loved the churro comment.
Yes.
I believe Jeremiah is my favorite member.
But
oh, no, I didn't know we were counting you. Of course you're my favorite.
Oh, okay. Of course.
Here.
Of course. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
So yeah, the churro joke will probably not go away anytime soon. It's just one of those, Disneyland we all have our own little in-jokes about things going on there. Rocket Rods coming back next season, that whole thing.
I feel only Tony's not here. Why would I say that? I feel only Mike Celestino is in the position to answer this question accurately. Let me get it up there. Mike?
I do want to say
10 million views and counting.
yeah, but how many views is the video where I make fun of the comments?
Not quite 10 million, but
No,
in our house,
it's like
quite a
1,000.
few. In our house, quite a few. We
Okay.
love that video.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, there's an amazing video on Laughing Places YouTube channel of Mike at Universal Studios Hollywood, where he's looking at the new Raptor walk around and all that. And there's a little puppet. It's a Triceratops, isn't it?
No,
Or
the
is it
puppet
a
is a raptor as well.
No, it's
They're
a
both-
raptor.
they're both
Raptor also.
raptors.
It's a raptor.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I
Real
didn't mean
baby
to say
raptor.
puppet.
Real baby raptor.
Real baby raptor. And our comments on that, please, if you've ever just wanted to waste a day looking at comments, this is the place to go. I started
keep
getting
coming
my
in, too. It hasn't
notifications turned
stopped.
on for that.
That video still gets so many views.
My favorite of the comments are the ones that are like, listen, I know the walking one is fake. There's a person in the costume, but that baby one is real. That's a real raptor. Like, it's a theme park. Everything's fake.
So good. It's so good. It's a good time.
It is. So
Check
out
it
that
out.
video.
Apparently somebody even has a Jurassic Park shirt.
But when does this ride open again?
Next year, I think, is all that they've said.
So I am hoping that this kid will get a little more gutsy between now and then, and I would love to see this little boy going on the
Benji?
VelociCoaster.
My
No, not that little boy.
I had to jump in and share my favorite Raptor comment, which is the one where it goes like, "Look at his new iPhone. Look at his new Apple Watch." So it's up. They didn't have that at the same time as Velociraptors.
Wait, what?
So it's fake.
there's
Because, you know, when Velociraptors went extinct 3 years ago.
Oh man, I wish that had been on there when I made the video.
Yeah, it is. They're great.
I want to tell you a story that the Gideon thing reminded me of. When I was a teenager, I made my mom drive me to New Jersey from Long Island to go to Six Flags Great Adventure to go on the Batman the Ride roller coaster. And when we got there, I took one look at it and chickened out, and I wouldn't go on it.
That's the best. Hey Jeremiah, you've been on site at Universal. Is this photo op still available? I've been trying to kind of figure out I know that it's in this general area, but is it further out, like out towards the lagoon, or are we going to lose this patio in front of have we lost the
All of
patio
it's
in front of
gone.
the Discovery patio?
This is gone.
You can't even come out that door. I don't know if you'll be able to access it because the coaster, the supports of the coaster is right in there.
It is. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing that myself when we go soon. So
yeah, the beautiful view across the lagoon that was like the castle moment is gone because the coaster starts the construction of the coaster is just outside the Jurassic Park River Adventure, and it runs all the way in front of the Discovery Center over to Harry Potter and then comes back. So not only does it mess up the Jurassic Park section, it messes up the Harry Potter section also with the
wow,
giant coaster.
you're really hurt by the sight lines on it. I haven't.
I am that's always been one of my things about Disney is sight lines are key. I mean, you walk out to the patio behind the Three Broomsticks, which was, you could see the water, and if you looked, you'd see the coasters in the distance. The coaster is probably 15 feet away from the patio area, so that nice calm area will also turn into a spot.
Yeah, I wonder how much it'll be. Wow. Okay. Well, I haven't been there yet. That was as you can see from the picture, that was a favorite place for me to kind of just as a parent, when you go with your kid, it's nice when you can find an area where you don't feel like you have to contain them. Like they won't bump into anybody if they want to spin around in circles like a maniac or that kind of thing. and the patio there on the other side of the Discovery Center was one of those. That one was one, and the pathway between the train station in Fantasyland and the Space Mountain of Tomorrowland, that little pathway there along the train, if there wasn't anybody taking a smoke break, that was another great place, because they're fairly contained, but yet they could run around and not harass, not get in the way of other people, and let them just kind of burn off a little bit of energy.
And now both are gone because of giant coasters.
Exactly. Exactly.
If I can take a moment to show a comment. This, by the way, Jeremiah, I know I tease you all the time about your diminishing role, but this is the biggest reason you have job security. This is the guy behind you. So he's even worse. So you're
Sweet Haven.
Mythos. We know Mythos very well. If I'm not mistaken, Mythos is voted the #1 theme park restaurant in the country, like 47 years running.
Mythos.
No, they took down the year sign. Now it's just Mythos voted #1 by whatever site that was that doesn't even exist anymore.
Sweet. I know the song Sweet Haven.
From
What is
Popeye?
Sweet Haven.
Mm-hmm.
Popeye.
Do it.
God must love us. I'm sorry, but
Mike,
Harry
get
Nilsson.
in there.
I love that movie.
I don't know the
Mike,
lyrics.
can you
Mythos.
accompany us?
Mythos has a vertigo-inducing bathroom.
As much as I like to pick on Mythos, Mythos is good. The food is actually really good.
The food was really good, but the tile work in that bathroom, oh my. It was vertigo-inducing. It was amazing.
You don't have to stand.
I was thankful. I would have fallen.
And really, at this point, I think we should carry on this conversation as long as possible, because since we are talking about Doobie having to go to the Mythos.
Mythos is an amazing restaurant.
Water.
That
Do you remember
waterfall
when
that they had outside.
Mythos would do they were the first place that the bite-sized desserts I saw introduced into theme park dining. Rather than, for a while it would be like you'd order dessert and it would be this well priced for the size, but it was enormous and you weren't necessarily in the mood for quite that much. And so then they started doing these like inexpensive parfait glasses. So it was just enough to give you a nice little sweet thing after the meal, but not so much that you knew you would feel bad later for getting all the other additional junk you were going to be eating because you were in a theme park.
Or if you're me, you could
not
get
like
2 or 3 and try different desserts.
No, that too.
Which is really cool. Yeah.
And it's not like a pizza that would cost you $40 or anything.
No.
We're not going there. Jeremiah,
So,
is season 52 still in Orlando, Jeremiah?
I'm sorry?
And season 52 out, where was that? It was out by
I
that
don't know.
place. Do you know?
He's
The
gonna have to
name
look
does
it up.
not
Like,
sound...
Okay. I mean, it's a healthy place. I doubt you've been there, but.
what?
And then
Wasn't
Tony
it-
thinks Mikey is lost.
Wasn't seasons 52 another Darden? But it was an upscale
It was healthy too.
farm to table kind of. Oh, see,
Tony, my man.
Tony coming in with the save.
Tony, my man. I love season 52. Upscale, healthy. The menu's themed to the 4 seasons. I don't know why it's called season 52. There's only 4, but
Because there's
themed to the 4
52 weeks in a year, honey.
But it's not called. It's called seasons 52, not weekly 52.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it's
Season
on
of
Restaurant
nine-
Row.
It's like
You're right.
13 of them. It's like 13 different.
No, you don't come interrupt our show. I don't care what your position is. Get out of here. Founder. All right, we are so far off the rails.
So hold on. So if I can jump back, I actually talked to Paul Berry, and if you
Geo fits
search "Window to the Magic" show
It's
number
not far off.
126, show number 126, that is all YeHaa Bob.
Okay, which one
Thank
was it
you.
again?
Show 126. If you just search "Window to the Magic,"
Window to Magic.
show 126.
Excellent.
I want to commend Jeffrey for not only having a great line, but for sticking with us through being about as far off the rails as we've ever been, having fun with adding and removing the CEO from the stream.
He was also in the Star Wars trivia night at the El Capitan. I saw his name pop up there, and I was bummed because I was like, oh man, I wanted to be able to talk some talk some trivia smack, but
Do
kidding.
you want to talk about that today? I know.
We'll talk about that
Okay.
on Star Wars Talk Night. But
Okay. I just wanted to check. All right. I think we are so far done that we may never come back on. So let's
no,
close
that's
this
not. Don't
out.
say that because we are about to take a bit of a break, right?
You and I are about. Well, I don't know. The show will for sure go on because
Okay, good.
Disney Park Talk.
Okay.
We will be out of town, but if we are in a position to, we will certainly take part. There's no reason
definitely.
we shouldn't. No reason we shouldn't. So,
Right.
but the show will go on. Our next show should be next Monday. Tomorrow morning, Tony Betty, the one and only, is going to be at Islands of Adventure, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I am so looking forward to that park walk and talk. I wish I could stay home for it so Gideon could be in there with me. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that one. Today, in 2.5 hours, or even a little bit less, assuming I completely finish our contest, we've got Disney Trivia Live coming up.
Yay!
Right there. Dang it. Right there. So looking forward to that.
You need signs on your computer, Dewey, of this way or that way.
Tonight's contest will be Marvel in the Parks and Disney by Jeremiah. And there is a good chance we will have a special guest host tonight by the name of Jeremiah. So we've had Mike C recently, who will never be topped. Watch last show. We've had Tony recently, and so why not do Jeremiah? See who else we can get to in this thing. So that should be fun. That's about it. I got to go to the bathroom so bad. So thanks everyone for joining us. I'm going to tell you guys now as soon as I hit end broadcast. I'm also going to close this window and run out of here. Love you, hun. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye.